Good morning, everyone. Now we're at the end of Feb and we have just 1 month left of this first quarter of 2023. Scary as it might be, you still have 9 months left of this year to implement good principles in your business and get really good results for all your efforts. Now, last week we spoke about sustaining your business through 5 practical things that you can implement that would help you to keep your business alive. Today's discussion hooks onto that topic, but we will be looking into more ways to sustain your business and stand out from the crowd. And if you want to stand out from the crowd, you need to do things differently. So last week I explained sustainability. Let's just recap quickly. It is to find ways of keeping your business alive and well, thriving actually. It's not doing less harm, but actually doing more good. Straight from the mouth of Jochen Zeitz. Now, Jochen Zeitz is quite a remarkable person. He was the CEO of Puma for 18 years, turning the company from near bankruptcy into one of the top 3 sporting brands in the world, growing sales to $4 billion and the share price, he grew by 4,000%. Today, he's the board member of Harley-Davidson, Cranemere Sustainable Investment Company, Wilderness Safaris, and the chairperson for Kering, the international luxury goods company. Now, why am I telling you this? I want you to see that sustainability is so important that Jochen Zeitz has built his entire career on the wings of sustainability. Today, he is a board member by profession, making sure that the businesses he is board member to thrives on good governance and thus making those businesses sustainable. His focus is on doing more good than just doing less harm. So besides 5 practical ways you can sustain your business, what we have discussed last week, there is also good governance. In South Africa, we have the King Reports. That is a great guideline for any business to govern by. It's written by Mervyn E. King. And I'd like to give you just a little bit of background really fast of the King Reports. Now, the very first report, first King Report was published in 1994. And the recommendation there was to standards of conduct for boards of directors of listed companies, listed with the JSE. So it's sizable companies. And it was also there for banks and some state-owned businesses. So they were really just giving some good standards of conduct for those businesses. Then the second King Report, King 2, was published in 2002. And it contained a code for corporate businesses. Now, that's not just only listed companies, but corporate businesses on how to conduct business in a responsible manner. Now, they were saying they would prefer or they would suggest that all board members should be financially literate. They must understand their financials very well. And the chairperson should be independent from the company and be a non-executive director. In other words, not operational in the business. So the chairperson who's running the board should technically not be an employee or a shareholder or any connection with the company that would influence the way that they think or the way that they would make any suggestions to the business or the way they would analyze the business. In 2009, the King 3 report was published, and the focus there was on leadership, sustainability, and corporate citizenship. Now, the King 4 report was published in 2016, and this is the current report that we have currently. And the focus there was really about finding a way of running your business in the best possible way with the best business principles and concepts. So there's 4 things that the King 4 is focused on. The one is for business to create value over time. And they should do that through various things, different abilities that the business has in creating value for their customers. The second thing that they focus on is the connection that the business has with society and the community. And it's how the business affects the community or the society and how the society affects the business. So we're all interconnected. And it's the way that those connections, how those connections are made and being upkeep. Also the connections with stakeholders of the business. Now, a stakeholder, let me quickly explain, is not is just a shareholder. Shareholders who is holding shares, who is owning shares in the company, is also a stakeholder, but they are not the only stakeholders. So a stakeholder is a person who is influenced by the business. So it will be employees, you can imagine, they're getting paid for whatever they do. And it's suppliers because we buy from them. And it is customers because they buy from us, all right? And then it is also the community where we function. So we are in a certain area, a demographic area, and that community is influenced by the business we are doing. It's either a positive or a negative influence. We all hope and agree it should be positive. And then obviously the government and SARS is also stakeholders of our business because we are paying tax and VAT if you are registered for that. So it is about the connections we have with our stakeholders as well. And then the last thing that the King 4 is focused on is the rights and the obligations and the responsibilities that business has towards the community and nature. It's being a good corporate citizen. Okay, so we are a natural person. We are citizens of this country. And the King report is saying, we want the business to be a corporate citizen of the country and be a good one. So society depends on business like yours and mine. And as I mentioned, it's all about finding a way of running your business in the best possible way with the best business principles and concepts. But the King report is not law. Implementing these good practices is completely voluntary. So what does that mean for a small plumbing business in South Africa? The King 4 report provides a set of principles and best practices that small businesses can use to improve their governance, the way that they run their business. The report provides guidance on how to create a board of directors that is independent, diverse, and accountable, how to ensure that the board is properly informed and has the necessary skills to make good decisions, and how to ensure that the board is properly compensated, and how to ensure that the board is held accountable for its decisions. Now, I'm talking a lot about boards. So you might ask, so explain. When you are in your business and you're operational and you're running your business, we tend to get a lot focused on the here and the now. And you might actually, because you're so close to your business, you can't really see the risk. You can't really see, make good decisions from a point where you are so overwhelmed or you are just way into your business that you can't think clearly. Okay, so you can't make very good decisions. When you have a board of directors, the board of directors helps with strategy. So it helps you to look at principles and best practices that you can bring into your business. And the board of directors also is looking from the outside in. So they're not operational necessarily. Okay, but it could be that some of those board members are executive directors, which means they are actually working operationally in the business. Now, on the King 4 report, on the forward, Mervyn E. King, he wrote, and I have to share this with you, corporate governance is as vital to SMMEs, that's you and me, as it is for large corporations. Implementation of cost-effective and simple mechanisms and processes will establish structure, improve operations, contribute to business growth, and ensure effective compliance with the law. Generally, individuals who are entrusted to run a business, even a small business, have a certain degree of power and control over that business. This creates ethical responsibilities and behavior that may violate or fulfill those responsibilities, such as handling business finances or paying oneself a salary. This in turn creates a need for warranting standards of ethics and integrity. In other words, it helps to ensure that the business is run in an ethical and responsible manner. It helps to ensure that the business is managed in a way that is in the best interest of all stakeholders, including the shareholders, the employees, the customers, the community. It also helps to ensure that the business is compliant with applicable laws and regulations, and that it is transparent and accountable to its stakeholders. It creates a culture of trust and respect. Now, in South Africa, plumbers must comply with the regulations set out by the Department of Labour, the Department of Water and Sanitation, the South African Qualifications Authority. They must also be registered with the Plumbing Industry Registration Board, PIRB, and hold a valid plumbing qualification. Plumbers must also adhere to the South African National Standard for plumbing installations. And I'm sure there's a few that we can add to this list of regulations and compliance that's necessary for you as a plumber in South Africa. These are just a few that I picked up. But this is law. Now, let's quickly look at an example of a plumbing business in South Africa that's got good compliance and corporate governance. And that, I suppose you can guess it, it's Plumbing. Now, Plumbing is a leading supplier of plumbing and bathroom products in South Africa. And they have a very strong commitment to compliance and corporate governance. They have a comprehensive compliance program in place, which includes regular internal and external audits and reviews. They also have a comprehensive corporate governance framework in place, and that is a board of directors and a code of conduct and probably a lot of company policies and all that. So why is a board of directors so important for a small business? You see, it provides an independent, objective perspective on the business. They're standing outside looking into the business, where if you are operational, you are inside the business and trying to run your business from inside. So it works for a small business or a micro, works well up until a point. Then it's not necessarily sustainable trying just to run your business from inside. You need views from outside. You need an independent, objective perspective on your business. The board can provide guidance and advice on strategic decisions, can help you identify potential risks. This is a very important point. If you're not mitigating and managing your risks, your business might not sustain. Then the board will provide oversight on the financial performance of the business. They might see things that you're not seeing in your business when they're looking at their finances. And additionally, having a board of directors can help to attract investors and other stakeholders, as it demonstrates that the business is well managed and has a clear vision for the future. Now, you have to see that this will help you stand out from the crowd, and it will help your business to stay alive. So now, if you are standing up because you want to stand out, here are a few things that you can implement in your business, things that you can do to bring good governance into your business. Now, the first thing, you can create internal policies and a code of conduct that sets out duty of care, skill, and diligence. Write a code of conduct. Doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be 5 points, 3 points, 10 points. It all depends on what you are saying. How are we going to go about business? How are we going to conduct business? You can bring your values that you have, that you live by and that you conduct business by. You can bring it into your code of conduct. And then you want company policies, things like travel policies or leave policies. Or you want something to, in terms of policy of how we deal with customers. So if you are uncertain or unsure of how to do this, I found this website, agreementsonline.com. Cost you a couple of bucks, but you can actually buy a Word document, any business-related document that you can buy from them. A once-off fee you pay, and you can adjust it that it suits your business and that it is talking to your business. Now, you can actually, side note, find a document there for collections. So if someone's not paying you, and you want to actually give them a lawyer's letter, you can find a letter there at agreementsonline.com that you can just adjust. It will look like you are sending it from an attorney, which they are attorneys. So it is a very well written document. Then this next thing you can do is you can be an effective leader. Now, effective leader has got certain characteristics, and ethics is one of them. So you have to have ethical values of responsibility, accountability, fairness, and transparency. Now, you don't need to have people following you to be a leader. These characteristics anybody can have. You can choose to say, I'm going to be a responsible person, I'm going to be accountable, I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to be transparent. And that's a good place to start being an effective leader and bringing good governance into your business. Third thing you can do, you can separate roles and responsibilities of the shareholders and the directors and the managers and everybody working in your business. So this is what you're doing when you're putting roles and responsibilities down on paper. You are limiting the liability of yourself and everybody working there, but you are also creating a framework for them to function by, to conduct business by, to take responsibility and be accountable for. Sometimes we just would say, okay, admin lady, you just file. You go and file the documents away. But there's more that person can potentially do for your business. And it creates a framework of a framework where you can know and the person can know what is expected of them. And if you put it down on paper, there's no uncertainty. Then the fourth thing you can do, you can create a management structure. Now, they're also saying create a small board of directors. Now, if you are a registered PTY Limited, you already have a board of directors, you just don't know it. If you are the only shareholder in your company, then you are the entire board of directors, which is not helping you, because what's the point? So then you might want to bring in independent directors, 1 or 2, into your business that will help you make good decisions on your business. Now, if you are maybe a small business and you've got a few shareholders and you've got other people working in your business, managers and other employees, then you can also successfully create a board of directors, but they will all be executive and they will be operational people. So again, you would need to bring in someone from outside who is independent. Now, for you to create a board of directors sounds like a daunting job, That's where Directors Association comes in. They will be able to help you create a board actually for free. But they've got their way of doing it and how they put the things together. But they will be able to guide you and help you to create a functional board of directors for your business. The fifth thing you can do your part in the local environment and in your community for nature and society. So just to give an example, if you are disposing of material, you need to do it in a responsible manner. Consider the nature, consider your local community and the environment when you dispose of material. And that is bringing good governance into your business. So now it's being intentional on how you run your business, how you conduct business, what is your values by which you run a business or you run your business, and in terms of your life as well, because you can't really separate yourself from your business. So it's your values also coming forward. And that's why when being an effective leader, the characteristics of that will shine through when it comes through in your business. It will, if you are a responsible person and you're accountable, it will come through in your business as good governance. Now, none of these 5 items on the list is very easy to do. It doesn't happen overnight, but you need to start somewhere. So if you are serious about growing your business into a good corporate citizen, please get in contact with me. I will really gladly help you to get things in place and set it up and appoint you to the right people. Are there any questions?
There are currently no questions. So ladies and gentlemen, if you do have any questions, please do post it in the Q&A. Thanks very much for joining us this morning, Linda. Is there anything you'd like to add, Steve?
Yeah, good morning. I think, again, just thank you to Linda. I think, the information that you bring, sometimes I think to those in attendance is a little bit of a wow, and how do I do this? And I think it's great that you're putting yourself out there to be able to explain these. And I think, in terms of businesses and, having a look at creating boards or doing things, but, I've found in my years of contracting was, I surrounded myself with people that weren't in the business, because I found myself being in it rather on top of it. And it's having that sounding board. So having mentors, having individuals, your accountant, having things that you can bounce off and sit there, because again, sometimes emotions do get in, frustrations get in. We tend to maybe do things that we shouldn't have done, but when we start unpacking it to somebody else, then we realize that those decisions weren't done the correct way. And I think I've attended the King 4, and it adds a lot of insight into it in terms of how we should be doing things. So Linda, again, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, Steve. Thank you. Yes, it's good principles. Sometimes it feels overwhelming, like you're saying. But you don't need to try and build Rome in one day. You just pick one, and you're getting already a lot closer to being, doing business in a good and constructive way and a sustainable way. I always say, when you are a big business taking a step like this, it is a small step for them. They're a big business. But for a small business to take a step like this, it is a giant leap. Yeah. You don't have to try and do everything at once. Don't be overwhelmed by it. Just take one step.
I think it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You get all these pieces in the box, and it's just putting one piece at a time. On the back what you want and what you're looking for, and now it's about just putting those pieces in place, and eventually you'll get to the complete picture of what it is that you want for your business. And I think that sometimes some of the things, as I've said before, we talk to be plumbers and to do plumbing, but when it comes to the business aspect of things, we tend to struggle in terms of trying to understand this and compare ourselves to others, and sometimes get a little bit overwhelmed in terms of what am I doing right, what am I doing wrong. But it's about investing in yourself and just putting those pieces together.
Absolutely true.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thanks, Byron.
Thank you very much. Is there anything you'd like to add, Linda, just before we end off?
No, I just want to say good luck to everybody for month end. And yeah, may this first quarter have done you well. And yeah, if you have any questions, please get in contact.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Steve and Linda, for joining us this morning. Thank you as well, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this morning.